back to the hat trick. Just to give you some history, again, the hat trick is typically dedicated to somebody who scores 3 goals in a game like hockey or soccer or something along those lines. So typically a hat trick for me is introducing you to 3 hats. However, I'm doing Texas style for St. Patrick's Day. This is my second episode of St. Patrick's Day, and I have my little partner back here apparently trying to get herself some bourbon out of the bar. I'll have to work on her. At any rate, cheers, Bella. I'll have to introduce you to the guys at some point in time. Okay, so here we go. Texas style hat trick, 4 hats. Second episode for St. Patrick's Day. Let's roll with it. This right here is the very first hat I'm going to introduce you to. This is the Hooligan Patchwork, which is green buffalo plaid newsboy cap, which came out from Funky Brims. This is a Laird Hatter's hat. It's a great shaped newsboy hat. I love the contrast of the two of the panels that they have here. It's got the Laird Hatter's little logo on it. And of course it has the Laird Hatter's label inside. And you can see it's kind of got an olive green label on the inside. This was the very first hat that Chris and the Funky Brims group introduced for St. Patrick's Day this year. It's a great hat, a lot of flop. Yeah, I would put it almost up there with a Peaky hat. Not quite as much flop, but it's definitely a newsboy, and it definitely has a lot of contrasting colors. It stands out when you wear it. I'm going to have to rock this at some point in time during the St. Patrick's Day season. It also comes with a pin, which is kind of a little leprechaun-looking dude with a stopwatch who has the hat on his head. I love it. Not a big pin guy always. There was somebody on one of the hat groups that actually said, I would never put a bumper sticker on a Lamborghini. I kind of like that. However, there are some pins that I do have and I do tout, and I'll get into those over time. But Funky Brims, Hooligan Patchwork, green buffalo plaid. It was $96 at the time. I believe there's only a few sizes left, but it's out there. And this is the very first hat of the Texas style hat trick. All right, guys, hat number 2 from Swisher Apparel this week is the Padraig. And this guy right here goes for $45. However, right now he's only got size 62s in it. This guy came out a couple of weeks ago, and this was Todd's very first 8-4 blinders cap, as he's calling it. And what that means in industry terms, which I learned from directly asking Todd, is that means that it is an 8-panel cap in a 4-quarter round shape. So if you look closely, there are 8 panels and obviously divided into 4 quarters, and there's your round shape, which gives you this newsboy shape. This guy is lined, so this is probably not something that you're going to want to put on your noggin in the middle of July or August. But by all means, you can still wear it if you live up where I do or up in the Northeast for maybe even a few more months at the rate we're going right now. Lots of greens, a little bit of blue in there, some brownish, dark brown. There's even gold and there's red. I mean, this is a cap you could wear with almost anything, easily a blue jean and t-shirt cap. The one thing you'll notice about this cap, it's got a very uniquely pronounced front brim. It's a little bit longer than some of the newsboys, and I think that's what's kind of cool about Swisher Apparel. Some of their styles are unique and they stand out, so a lot of folks will recognize if you got a Gadsby Swisher on, you know it's a Swisher. And now I'm starting to think that if you have a Swisher newsboy on that's an 8-4, you're going to recognize it in a heartbeat, because this is exactly what the rest of them are probably going to look like. Again, I said they're only available in 62. I did learn from a post this week that if you are up a lot of pretty pleases to Todd, he can shrink a hat down for you. You got to put that in the notes of your order and let him know if he's going to do that. But I don't know how many pretty pleases you have to poke him in the ribs with to get one shrunk down. So if he only has a 62 and you want a 61 or a 60, he might be able to work some magic for you. But I'm pretty sure he's going to probably restock these. So again, the Swisher Apparel Padraig is right here. And I'm going to pause right there and just make a quick apology for the previous segment to this. I got totally derailed. My dog was literally trying to hit my bourbon stash, and I was just, no, you're not getting this. So I still had my steamer here. If you look at the previous segment, you also find, obviously, I had my dog walking around back here trying to sniff out the bourbon stash. Look, I mentioned that the previous hat had an olive green label. I meant an olive green liner, so I want to correct that. Apologies for a few missteps, but hey, that's the nature of the beast, and I'm only human, so like anybody else, I can make a few missteps. Back to the Padraig, Swisher Apparel, $45. He offers rewards. Get out there and get you one. Or if you want to know if there's a restock, ping Todd on his website and he'll let you know if and when these are going to be restocked. Thank you. We'll move on to hat number 3. All right, guys. Hat number 3 this week is the Boston Scally Blarney Rose. This is something that I have waited for it to be re-released so I could snag one, so I didn't have to grab it on the secondary market. This, I love the line, the Rose line, and I love the Rose line for a couple of reasons. Number one, they always have the leather brim liner, and they just fit good, man. It's like that comfortable ball cap that you used to have back in the day that you'd always have hanging up on a hook and you just grab it before you walk out the door. To me, that's what the Rose line of Boston Scally is like. It has, obviously, I mentioned the leather liner on the brim, but it also has kind of the gray or stone, perhaps Blarney stone, liner on the inside. And, of course, the traditional Boston Scally logo of the hat or line that it is. This is a pretty hat. Greens and grays and blacks on the wool shell. It could go with almost anything. You could rock this on St. Patrick's Day. You're not going to get pinched in the high knee because you got your greens rolling here. I don't know what else I can really say about this hat. I like it. I wanted it. I snagged it. I consider it part of my St. Patrick's Day line that I'm now kind of collecting. And I'm not going to part with it. It's a great hat. It's the kind of hat you could get a newbie into pretty easily because it's not so in your face or loud. Or for those of us that have been in that hat hobby for a while, it's one that you could easily add to your collection as well. I'm going to share the B Scally code that I continue to share here because I think that's a great code. It obviously saves you shipping. I'm also going to say something to the other fellow veterans that are out there. There is a veterans discount code that Boston Scally offers. I'm not going to post it here because I don't think that's appropriate. If you want it, I'm happy to give it to you, or you can reach out to their customer service like I did, and they're happy to give it to you. It won't be as significant if you're only buying one hat. Used to be Scally. That's going to save you more money. But if you're buying 2 or more hats, it's significant enough to save you some cash. If you want it, reach out to me. I'm happy to share it with you. But aside from that, I encourage you to reach out. If you're not reaching out to me, reach out to customer service at Boston Scally. Let them know you're a veteran and let them know you'd like to get the discount code, and they're happy to share it with you. So this week, hat number 3 of a Texas style hat trick is the Boston Scally Blarney Rose. And since it's Texas style, we're going to move on to hat number 4. Thank you, guys. Welcome back. Our 4th and final hat for the final St. Patrick's Day episode that I have. I'm taking it back to the release that Funky Brims had a week and some change ago. This is the Funky Brims Feeling Lucky Flannel Newsboy. Now, I did introduce you to 2 of these last week. One was a patchwork flat cap, and one was kind of a patchwork newsboy. This one is just strictly the newsboy that has the Hales flannel on top and the green corduroy brim. This guy retails for $78, but the reason I wanted to introduce you to this one, most sizes are still available, and this is a great newsboy cap. Nowhere near the flop or drape that you're going to get out of the Peaky line, the Peaky hat line, or even the Swisher Padre that I introduced you to earlier. But it's a great cap. I mean, look at it. It's got St. Patrick's Day written all over it. Plus, after St. Patrick's Day, it's another cap you could wear anytime you're sporting something green. It also comes with a pin within a pin. I had to take this one out of the bag to show you. It's got the little spinner on it. It's got the horseshoe and the 4-leaf clover on the inside. This is a great pin. I've told you earlier, I'm not a big pin fan. This is one I'm going to rock because it's so unique and so different. So again, Feeling Lucky Flannel newsboy cap. Sorry, had to reference that one. And this is it. I'll take it off and introduce it to you. The flannel from Hales is here. What do we got on there? I got a little something I got to take off, but there we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Probably part of the cardboard box still, but there it is. It's got the green corduroy brim. It has the Feeling Lucky logo on the inside. It is lined. It's a light cap. You could easily wear this one in the summer. There's no lining on the inside aside from that thin black material that's in there. It fits well. And if you're easing into the concept of a newsboy, this one and this style is the one that doesn't have that big drape and that big flop. It takes a lot of getting used to for most people for that. You can ease into it easily with this one, and you can kind of see it's a slimmer profile newsboy. Clean, green, St. Patrick's Day written all over it. Get out there on Funky Brims and grab you one. That is hat number 4. My last shout out is going to be for my second Chowderhead shirt. I had to. This one is customizable. Obviously, it has my last name, but you can put any last name there. And this is their Irish pub shirt. Whiskey, beer, and fisticuffs. I mean, I think I got this in a matter of days after I ordered it, so even the customization was short. I don't get anything back from them. I just think it's a cool ass shirt. Matter of fact, I bought one for my son too, and he saw it the other day and he's like, dude, that's a cool shirt. He's going to be wearing that to St. Patrick's Day, I'm sure. He'll probably be partying up in that. So 4 hats, 1 t-shirt, introduced them all to you this week. Next week, I'm going to slide back in and introduce you to that pretty hat that I showed you a few weeks back, and back into my normal 3 hats a week cadence, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, let's dive right into the Hat Trick Socials again. I'll introduce you to this guy next week. But in the social world this week, this is the week of meetups for both Peaky Hat and Funky Brims. So those are happening this coming weekend. I'm actually recording this on Friday, March 6th to give you an idea of the time frame. Today, Peaky Hat drops 2 denim style caps. There is the Rogue flat cap and there is the Renegade Newsboy style cap. They're denim. There's 3 colors for each one, I believe. There's a black denim, there's a dark blue denim, and then there's a light blue denim. Bike Night dropped last night between Funky Brims and Hales. Collaboration was a great drop. That flannel was gone in no time. If you're a rider like me, beautiful flannel with the oranges and the grays and the whites and the blacks all etched in there. And the hats, 4 hats from Chris and company, from a full leather newsboy style cap to a leather flat cap. Both of those had the Hales flannel on the underside of the brim. And then there was a newsboy, I'm going to call it a panel patch type of thing that Chris had going on with leather in the front, flannel on the side, and a really cool material, orange material in the back. And then there was a flat cap that had just the flannel on the top, which was, they were all sharp looking caps. Boston Scally, 2 big surprises this week. The first one was Wednesday when they dropped some 8 panels that had a clover on the back, really pretty caps. And then last night they announced that they were going to redo the Guinness. That drops today. The only difference I can really see between the 2 is the embroidery on the back. The original Guinness had the Guinness name embroidered on the back, and this one looks to have their harp on the back. So I'm going to look at it closer again to make sure I'm not missing something, but I think the style is almost identical minus that little change. And then last but not least, Swisher Apparel. Todd has alluded to the fact that there's a cap that he really wanted to share with us, but his troublemaking 4-legged co-worker apparently had buried it in the snow, or was looking for it in the snow, in one of his fun posts that he had earlier. But all joking aside, I believe there's another preview coming from Swisher Apparel in the very near future. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Next week, I'll go back to the standard hat trick, introducing you to 3. This one included. It'll probably be my first one. And we'll go from there. Have a great week and a great weekend. And we will catch up with you guys soon. Take care. Bye.